Hey guys, welcome back to Depression Knows YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to us below and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so today's video is 10 things not to say to someone with depression. So number one is there's always someone worse off. Like, obviously. I think you could say that for anyone, but then can't you also argue you can't be happy all the time because there's always someone that has it better than you? It just doesn't make any sense why people feel the need to point that out. Like, obviously, you might have a better life in some people in some aspects, but your mental health can obviously distort that and make you think you maybe don't, or make you feel a certain way and make you feel hopeless and empty and stuff like that. So having people say someone else has it worse off just makes you feel really, really negative. It makes you feel worse because then you're like, feel guilty for feeling the way you do. And I mean, I already feel guilty, so having someone say that to me makes me feel like 10 times worse. So if you want to say something slightly more helpful, maybe say like you're not alone, other people might get what you're going through and stuff like that. A lot of people are quite negative like about medication and treatment for mental health. One of those people don't agree with antidepressants for some unknown reason. I just don't listen to those people because they've helped me so much. So one thing is just, people say just go out and get some exercise, or like just go outside, and they're like, nature's your natural antidepressant, and it's like, really? Like, no, I just hate it when people say that like so much. Like, it's just, if I could just like run away from depression, I could. If I could just run away from all my struggles, I definitely would. Trust me, I have tried doing these things, it doesn't help, and so many other people have done them. And even so, exercise isn't for everyone. Not like going for a run isn't for everyone. Like, obviously get outside, do some stuff, but it's not gonna help everyone. So just saying just do some exercise, like curing mental illness is that easy is just so stupid, because obviously it's not that easy, because if it was that easy everyone would do that. Another thing is sort of like when people are like, it's just a phase, or you're young. Loads of people feel this way, like it's just the pressures of school. It's like, no, it's not. Like, I just don't understand, like, people are very critical, or like they want to ask so much about like when you were diagnosed and everything about it, and it's like, this is my personal medical information, I don't think it's important to you. But like, I just think people are very like nosy or whatever, and it's like, this is my personal circumstance, I don't open up about everything to everyone because there's no reason for me to do that, especially with someone I don't know, when they're like, it's just a phase. It's not just a phase. It's not like I'm going through a little emo phase where like, you know, like when loads of people went through like, you know, like the edgy phase when you were younger. Like, it's not like that. Depression's not just a phase, because if it was, you wouldn't just get young people getting it, you wouldn't have old people. Like, it spreads across so many different ages, so many different like things. It's not just a phase, it affects, like, it can affect everyone, it can affect anyone, like, so it's not just a phase. So please don't say it's just a phase, like, it's just not. Always when you're having a bad day with depression, it can just be really, really, really hard, and someone might be like, just be happy, or cheer up, or it'll be better tomorrow, and it's like, really? Like, if I could just be happy, trust me, I would. Depression's not a choice. You don't get to decide whether you're suffering or not. So for people just to be like, just be happy, like, just pick it. Like, do you really think I made the choice to have depression? Do you really think if I had the choice just to be happy, I wouldn't go with that? Like, it baffles me when people are like, be happy, and it's like, I can't do that. If I could do that, I would do that. Like, you just need to be empathetic if you aren't struggling and you don't understand. Like, just think before you speak. Like, just be happy is like instant cure. Like, your broken leg, walk on it, you'll be fine. Like, if you walk on it, it'll fix. It's like, no, it won't. You're breaking your arm, just like do something with it. Like, you can't do that. So please try and understand. Quite annoying, it can be quite a tricky thing, is when someone was like, I know how you feel, like, I've been depressed a few times or whatever. But it's when people haven't actually suffered from depression, they've just been sad a few days or gone through some sort of grief or something like that, that's not depression. So when people try like say, oh, I understand how you feel, like, obviously it can be meaning to be comforting, it can be meaning to help like support someone, but the way people word it and the way people do it, it makes you feel like you don't understand me. Like, you're saying you understand me, but for several days, like, sometimes this lasts for years and years, if not a lifetime for some people. So it's not just a thing that can last for a few days. Like, I think people misunderstand that, so they're like, oh yeah, I completely get it, but then by saying that, you don't get it, you don't get what people are going through. So just try be cautious with that. I think it can be hard because you are trying to help, and it's great that you are trying to help someone. Just try be like, I can't understand what you're feeling, like I can't even imagine how difficult that'd be, like, because it's so, like, everyone's depression is different, so even if you have suffered, it will be different from someone else's. So just say it must be difficult for you, like, is there any way I can help? Is there any way I can support you? Is there any way I can help motivate you or something? Just try offer your support rather than trying to completely understand what someone's going through, because you can't always understand what someone's going through. Life isn't fair. Yes, you're right, life is not fair. But just because life isn't fair and life sucks so much, like, let's be honest, it does, but that doesn't mean I don't suffer from depression. That just because life sucks doesn't mean, like, life doesn't owe us anything, nothing owes us anything, but you owe people your I think you don't owe them, but like, you should have enough common decency to respect other people's emotions, respect other people's illnesses. So just understand that by saying, you know, life's not fair, like, that doesn't help anyone. It just makes me feel a bit like, okay, it's not fair, I get that, and I completely understand that, and it's so, just have to deal with it. Like, what do you think I've been doing for all these years? I am dealing with it. Maybe not well, people have different coping mechanisms, but I'm dealing with it, dealing with it as best as I can. So just saying you just have to deal with it is just a bit like, clearly you don't get how hard it is to deal with it. Just saying deal with it, like, people, I guess sometimes you do have to, like, cope, but just saying deal with it's like, cope with it. You know, I don't know how to word what I mean, but you might get what I mean. It's just really annoying. So instead of saying that, maybe go towards, you're not alone in this, I will support you. Like, don't just say you have to deal with it, like, basically telling that person to completely do this hard task of trying to cope by themselves. But is, what do you even have to be depressed about? Like, you might be young, you might be at school, you might have quite a good life relative to other people, but that doesn't mean you're not suffering. Like you think celebrities, pop stars, musicians, I'm just like naming the same things there, authors, poets, like people with such interesting jobs, people that are doing jobs in industries they like are suffering, and people, like, so many people are suffering. Like, just because you have what seems like a nice life doesn't mean you do have a nice life inside your head. It can be very confusing, very difficult. Like, honestly, I don't know, like, it just baffles me. And more, it can be like, instead of what do you have to be depressed about, maybe like, well, gosh, I didn't know you actually suffer from that, and do your research into it. Do your research into it, because so many people suffer, so many people are going through all these horrible, horrible things, and yeah, it's not based on your life. I don't know how to word what I mean, but you might get what I mean. Another one is like, get out the house, go out with your friends and have fun. Like, yes, encouraging your people to hang out with their friends and not isolate themselves is good, but just saying it's easy as just leave the house, like, it's so difficult. Some days you don't want to. It's not just a matter of lazy, because being depressed is not being lazy. It's more, I am too overwhelmed to do this, I can't do this, I don't want to be a burden on anyone else. It can be a very, very hard thing to actually cope with, and a very hard thing to even just leave the house. And people just being like, well, just do that, like, it doesn't help anyone. Like, you don't understand how difficult this actually is, so it just kind of sucks a little bit. So I'm sorry for yourself. That is something people say to you when you say you're suffering. You actually open up to them, like, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Like, other people have it worse. Again, always followed by that. And it's just, it sucks. Like, I don't feel sorry for myself. I don't know where you got this information from. I think people have a very stereotypical image of someone with depression, thinking they're like wallowing in self-pity and they're just in bed all day, like thinking about their life and problems, when that's not the reality. So it's not feeling sorry for yourself, it's you feeling you're being a burden on someone else. It's completely different. Like, I don't feel sorry for myself, I feel sorry that other people have to put up with me and stuff like that. So just don't say it. Pretty easy, just avoid saying that, and it just makes us feel a bit better, because, like, I don't feel sorry for myself. Like, trust me, I feel guilty enough for having depression. Like, I don't feel sorry for myself. I hope I've done 10 there. If I've not done 10, I'm really sorry, but I have done some things you should not say to people with depression. I hope you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and if you want to see more from me, subscribe to my own channel, which will be in the description below. So I hope you like this video, and make sure you like and subscribe.